Okay, so now the next thing I'd like to show you is that people think, well, Grammy's really only in America. Not true at all. Even though it's called the National Academy, it should be called the International Academy. So what I would like to show you here is how international it is, okay? So for example, last year in the opera category, okay, we had the winner was Seiji Ozawa in Japan, okay? So that's who won last year. It was the Saito Kinen Orchestra in Tokyo, and they were the winners, okay? Then the next one, we had two groups from Boston, which is where I went to school. Then we have the Chamber Orchestra of Europe, which is made up of musicians from many countries in Europe. And then we also had the opera company in Berlin, in Germany. So see, it's very international. And in fact, a friend of mine who's very involved with Grammy in Los Angeles told me that every year they get more and more CDs coming to them from Asia, a lot from Asia, and every year it increases. So that's why I'm really happy to speak today to just encourage people to get more involved with the entire Grammy process. So the other thing I want to show you is the range of music that is qualified for Grammy. And let's just get this up on the screen. Okay, so here are, I don't know if you can, I hope it's big, yeah, it's big enough on your screen. Okay, you can see the fields and categories. There's 84 of them. Now, as classical musicians, we can only vote in 10 categories, the ones here. Okay, there's 10 categories because I submit in classical, I can vote in those. I can also vote in the general field. Everyone can vote for the top record and album of the year. That's very, very lovely. And we're involved with hearing all the other fields, but look at all the kinds of music that can win Grammys. We have pop, we have rock, we have R&B, rap music, jazz, new age, we have Latin music, we have reggae, and here's an interesting one, world music. Now you have a wonderful traditional Vietnamese music in this country, and nothing would make me happier than to see a CD of traditional Vietnamese music win a Grammy some year. So I hope that's a goal for this country. And I see a composer who's here who I'll introduce later who's smiling, but they have made recordings, and I think one of these years they should be submitted for Grammys. I think that would be absolutely wonderful. So what happens is you vote in your own category, but it's much bigger. And any musician from any of these genres, we call it genres, the different types of music. I know you're all studying English, so I'm trying to define things. All the different genres go through the same process of winning a Grammy. So I want to describe the process to you. So the timeline is rather long, okay? And there's lots of rules. Just in small print, these are all the rules about submitting to Grammy. And again, don't worry about reading them on the screen. You'll have the link so you can read them. If you're interested, you can read them later. So the timeline takes over 8 months. And it starts in June, where people can submit a CD for consideration between June and August. And the CD has to be made in the prior year, okay? Then you submit it between June and August. Then in September, there is a committee that meets for each of the genres, each type of music. Some of them get combined, but the classical one, they have one committee. And I know this year they are looking at this, and they just looked at September, almost 2,000 recordings from around the world. And they look very carefully. They don't listen to them, but they look at all the parts of the CD. Was it released last year? Is the packaging correct to sell it? Are they in the right categories? Like if it's in opera, maybe it should be in vocal music, or if it's in composition, it should be somewhere else. So they look through all of them. They make sure, for example, that there aren't student recordings, because students should not be applying for Grammy. It's for professional musicians. So they look at all these things very carefully. And some years they might throw out half of them and only be left with 1,000 out of the 2,000. Because a lot of people submit to Grammy, but they don't follow the rules. And so this committee makes sure that they're following all the rules very, very carefully. Then after that, in early November, all of the voting members get an email telling them to go to the Grammy website, and we look over what remains. So for example, if there's 1,000 classical, and we have 10 categories, we're looking at 100 in each category. So you look down that list, and we're all professionals, so we know the other people in our field. We know that Seiji Ozawa won a Grammy, and he's top quality. I've worked with him, he's amazing. So we look it over and we say, okay, out of the 100, who do I personally think the top 5 are? Okay, and I look over this list and I see some friends. I hope that their stuff's good quality. I see people I've worked with. I see people I know that I respect very much, and I think very hard and for many hours, and I choose 5 as a voting member. Okay, and I vote, and I send back the 5. So in late November, another committee at Grammy sits down with the votes for the nominees for the top 5, and there's many people, there's hundreds of people voting, so they see who comes to the top, who's got the most votes, like any other voting, and they look at them again, and they say, okay, we want to make sure this is correct. They listen to the recordings to make sure that the recordings are really top quality. They make sure every rule has been followed because they don't want to nominate someone unless they deserve to win a Grammy. So at that point, they're looking at it again. And then in early December, they announce the nominees. And every musician who has sent in a CD is doing this and very excited. You get up at 5 in the morning and you start looking at the website because they put it up very early and you get nervous and you're nominated and you just feel incredible because you know you are the top 5 in the whole world for that year. But the ceremony isn't until February. So from December till February, you're really nervous. You want to win. I can't tell you anybody who doesn't want to win. But the fact is, there are 5, and 4 of the 5 are not going to win. Okay? So you have to be very happy that you are one of the top 5, because there's only 20% chance of winning. And we know many, many of our colleagues who have been nominated, some of them 20 times, and never won. So we are very lucky that we've won. So it's really, you get very, very nervous. So in January, you get the ballot with the 5, and you choose 1. And then they announce it in February at the actual Grammy ceremony. So that's the whole process. That's what you go through, and it's very long, and it makes you very nervous if you're in the process because you want to do your best and you hope. But many years, like one year, we didn't win, but a musician, Pierre Boulez, whose music we're playing at one of our upcoming concerts with the Hanoi New Music Ensemble, he won, and he's won so many Grammys, but there's nobody better who should win Grammys. So we were not upset because we said he should win the Grammy. We're not him. You know, we weren't 80 years old. So we were very happy that he won. So you look, and these are colleagues. So when you don't win, you're not upset. You're still a nominee, and it's really wonderful. Now, I want to tell you a little bit about what actually happens at the Grammy, okay? So as I described, there are all these nominees, and only 1 out of 5 is going to win. So the Grammy organization has come up with something so wonderful that the night before the Grammys, they have a big party, huge party. There's 84 categories with 5 people in each category. So it's a big party at a wonderful, wonderful place in Los Angeles. Great food, great drinks. And it's a party only for the nominees. Nobody else can come. Only for people nominated. and they give you a wonderful medal. You all know what the Olympics medal looks like. It looks similar to that. I'm sorry I couldn't bring it, but I would never be able to get that through security. It's gold, and it's made at Tiffany's. You all know you have Tiffany's here, I think, in Hanoi. So it's the top jeweler, and they make this beautiful medallion, a medal, and on a nice satin, beautiful ribbon. And you get that as a nominee. So even if you don't win and get a statue, you still have your medal, which is wonderful. And then they take pictures of you for free that you get afterwards. So you go with your medal and you're very dressed up, and you go to the party and you get your picture taken, and you feel very, very special. They have a ceremony where they honor people, and it's really very, very nice. And then the next day is Grammy, and it's a very, very long day because obviously they can't give 84 awards in one 3-hour TV show. They would go on for 20 hours. So they have a ceremony before the Grammys just next door, and they do this at a big sports arena in Los Angeles where our basketball team plays and other sports things, and they have rock concerts there. So it's a very good place. It's a big rock concert, basically. So next to it, they have rooms, and they have big convention center, and they give out probably about 70 of the 84 awards, and you see really famous people there, even though they're not on TV that night. We see Yoko Ono, we see Tony Bennett, see all the famous, you see Taylor Swift, you see all the different stars from all the different kinds of music. And so if you're at the ceremony and you don't win, you're a little sad, but 4 out of 5 in each category don't win, and so you're happy to be there. But if you win, amazing. So you go up on stage and you thank everybody, and Jeff's very good at thanking the Academy. I just kind of stand there, even though I talk, I didn't want to say anything here, I was a little shy. And then they take you backstage and you go on the red carpet. But the red carpet's huge, absolutely huge. It's like probably 3 times the length of this room. And you have press from all over the world. You have TV, you have newspapers, and from everywhere. You know, you've got press from everywhere. And you walk in, and the first time we won, there's Bruce Springsteen standing right next to me. And he's probably a little old for you guys, but he's a really major star. And he's from New Jersey, which is where I was born. And so Jeff looked at me and said, $50 if you tell him you're from New Jersey. I said, he's probably talking to his mom. I'm not going to bother him. But you see all these stars on the red carpet. And they ask you questions, and they say, what did you win for? And you tell them, and hopefully they ask you more questions. And then they take you up to the press room, and you have pictures with the Grammy holding it. They interview you. They take you to a room, like our room was for classical, so they all were asking questions about the music. And then they just, sometimes they put makeup on you. It's really cool. So there's all these things, and it takes quite a while, and then you eventually go back down to the ceremony. And then at 5 o'clock, because of the timing of the ceremony, they start the actual Grammys. And anybody in the public can buy tickets to the Grammys, but it's very expensive. But we're very lucky as nominees, we get to go for free, and we sit in really good seats. So it's the biggest rock concert of the year. I mean, you're seeing the top people. So we have seen Paul McCartney live, Beyonce, James Brown, Aerosmith, Shakira, who I love, Natalie Cole, jazz musician, Sting, Taylor Swift, Adele, Norah Jones, Bono, U2. We've seen everybody. We've been in so many Grammys at this point because we've been nominated. And we love it. Even though we're classical musicians, we're seeing the top rock and pop stars in the world. And when we go to Latin Grammy, we see, the salsa, and we see the mariachi, and all of them are the best. So we love it. We absolutely love it. It gets a little loud. We get very hungry because we've been there since 1 o'clock for the pre-ceremony. And then after the Grammys, they have a big party for everybody who's been at the event. And it's just huge. And it's just wonderful. I have to tell you, highlight of my life. I am very proud of it, very happy, and it was just a great experience. And that's why you should always try to do your best work possible, because when something like that comes, you just have to be incredibly happy about it. So, and our musicians all were so proud of all of them. So I'd like to just show you a couple of our CDs. Okay, this is the Chavez. This is one of the volumes. We have 4 volumes, and the first and second volume are what won the Grammy. This volume was actually nominated as Best Classical Album, which is a very big category. And so we were in the top 5 of all recordings in classical for that year. We're very, very proud of that. And now I will have these up here afterwards. Please don't take them, but you're welcome to look at them and see how the design looks. If any of you are in design, you might be very interested to look through these. So that was one. And I'm going to play some music for you too, but I just want you to see some of these. This is another recording we made of music by a Cambodian-American composer named Chinri Ong. And I'm very proud that I took the photo on the cover of one of the temples at Angkor, where we played one time with our ensemble. So I'm very excited about some Southeast Asian music that we've recorded. And then this is our most recent CD. This is music of one of the leading composers of Mexico, Gabriela Ortiz. She is very, very well respected, and one of our Vietnamese composers. They're very good friends too. And we have done a whole CD of her music, and you'll hear a little bit of that as well. So I'd be very happy for you to look at these, to see what one of our CDs looks like. I hope you enjoy looking through those. There are also all of our CDs. I have to do a little commercial. All of our CDs are available on our website or for download through iTunes, which is very reasonable. And the other thing is that what's great about iTunes, and you can connect to iTunes through our website as well, you can listen to excerpts of all of our CDs for free. You know, if you go to iTunes when you're shopping, you can just click on it and you can hear it. So if you're interested in hearing more about Southwest Chamber Music CDs, you can go to iTunes or go to our website to connect directly to the right place in iTunes, and you can actually hear our music there. Let me see if I can get the screen back up here. Hold on. Okay, so give me just one second. Okay, so I'd like to play some music for you now. And the first thing I would like to play for you is some Carlos Chavez. And the piece is called Xochipilli. And Xochipilli is the Aztec god of music, and he plays the flute. So obviously you're going to hear a lot of flute in this selection of Xochipilli, and it's Southwest Chamber Music performing with the Tambuco Percussion Ensemble, the ones in Spectre. So I hope you'll enjoy this. Just a short excerpt for you. Okay, so have you ever heard music like that before?
No.
Anyone? of these. What does it sound like? Person? Yes? Someone else? Anyone want to describe, does it sound like an Aztec god playing the flute? Yeah?